There's no sound, Karen. Just move your mouse to the top to include system audio. Right to the top. In the middle.
Agenda for our session.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't know why I can't share. I'll try again. There we go. Mic, share, and play. Good afternoon and welcome to UCT's Virtual Open Day. We are the Department of Construction, Economics and Management. My name is Karen Lushan and I'm a Senior Lecturer in the Department of Construction, Economics and Management. The agenda for our session today is a welcome by our Head of Department, Associate Professor Manya Moya, followed by a student perspective of their studies here with us. We'll then happily answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Karen, for that. And good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. My part of the presentation is in three parts. Now, I'll speak, first of all, I'll give you an overview of the qualifications that we have to offer. But, exciting qualifications in the department. Then I'll speak to marks of quality. Obviously, if you are anyone wanting a qualification that is interested in getting a sense of the quality that comes with it, and we have high quality qualifications, and that is signified by international and local accreditation, and I'll speak to that. And then obviously it matters what happens at the end of the qualifications. We have exciting career options arising from the qualification offer. So I'll give you an overview of what is possible in that space. So these are our degree offerings. So the basic entry points are a BSc in Construction Studies, which is a 3-year undergraduate program that allows exit into either BSc Honours in Quantity Surveying, which is a 1-year program, or a BS Honours in Construction Management, which is a 1-year program as well. And the other option, entry point, is a BSc in Property Studies, which is a 3-year program that then allows entry into an honours program in Property Studies, which is a 1-year program. But beyond that, if one is interested, we have further postgraduate programs, and MSc in Property Studies, MSc in Project Management, and and we have research degrees and MPhil and PhD. Now, what I really want to talk about is, what I want to say about these qualifications is that, first of all, they are professional qualifications. And I like to focus specifically on the undergraduate construction studies and property studies and construction management at QS. So they are professional degrees. That's the first thing to make point. And the second point, that is what that means is that they lead into professions that are regulated, and that provides very clear pathways for professional development. The second point to point out is that these qualifications are our graduates at the heart of the production of the built environment. So when you walk our cities, the shopping centers, housing development, office complexes, and so that represents a product of the general area in which our graduates work. It's an important sector of the economy. And so if you really want to be part of that, part of an important sector of the economy that is important for job creation and creation of our environment and so on, these are the career options. These are the qualifications to have. Now, the other point I think worth mentioning is that why would we want to do this in the context of our department? First of all, we have a small department. A relatively small department. That means that you get personal attention. We have a very high success rate in terms of the going through the degrees. And then, of course, the obvious point is that you get these qualifications from the #1 university on the African continent, and we, as a department, actually, the best that you can find in the continent. And then, of course, at the end of the day, is that one is interested in getting jobs and so on. So we have a high employment uptake for our graduates. Yes, I did speak about the high quality qualifications that we offer. Now, it's important that you don't just take our words for it. We have external entities that have provided us with a stamp of approval of the quality of these programs. And as you can see, we have South African entities, statutory bodies that accredit our programs. And what that means is that they regularly come and check and ensure that our programs are quality, that they're fit for purposes, that they're appropriate for the context, and then they look at our facilities, they look at our staff, they look at our research and all that. So the three of them, the Council of the Project Construction Management Professions, the Council of the Quantity Surveying Profession, the Council of the Property Valuers Profession. In addition to that, we have international accreditation by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors and the Chartered Institute of Building. Now, what that means is that our qualifications give you not only sort of local acceptance and all that, but it gives you international mobility. With the RICS accreditation, the CRB accreditation, our graduates can and have worked internationally without any problem. So you find them in Dubai, you find them in Europe, you find them in North America, you find them in Australia and all that. So you are guaranteed that with our qualifications, that you have qualifications that are recognized locally, but also respected internationally.
Our property studies graduates are highly sought after. They work for development companies like CEF, Rabi and Faircape. They work for banks such as RMB, Investec, and they work for insurance companies such as Old Mutual, Sanlam and Liberty. Investment companies like Allan Gray also snap them up. Naturally, they are the preferred employees of companies such as GrowthPoint, Redefine, Broll and Aries, but they also find employment at the V&A waterfront and property listed funds. So if you are a young person with confidence and a positive attitude, and you enjoy working with numbers or money, and you have great leadership and managerial and communication skills, then a career in property is definitely for you. The role of a construction manager is to coordinate and supervise a wide variety of building projects. Construction managers set schedules, keep an eye on finances, make sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be on an everyday basis, and they ensure that there are no safety hazards around. In general, they have to keep everyone happy. Construction managers have to be practically minded, innovative thinkers, organized and efficient, and action-orientated. Being a team player is vitally important, and you also need to be able to work under severe pressure. Many of our graduates have pursued professional registration and are working as professional construction project managers. They also become heavily involved in the finance side of construction companies, often becoming financial directors. Construction managers naturally drift into project management as well, and facilities management is another employment opportunity. The role of a quantity surveyor is to predict and manage all costs related to construction and engineering projects, right from the initial planning stages through to the finished product. Quantity surveyors are responsible for minimizing costs, but ensuring value for money at the same time. They also have to make sure that the project meets all legal requirements and quality standards. The personality traits of a quantity surveyor is someone who is practically minded, enjoys problem solving in a methodical and logical way, and is an innovative thinker. You also have to enjoy working with numbers in a precise and analytical fashion. Being a team player is very important, and having self-confidence and the ability to work under pressure stands you in excellent stead. Our graduates have found fantastic employment opportunities as quantity surveyors. Many become registered quantity surveyors with consultancy firms. Others work for contracting firms. The other opportunities that you have is to become an arbitrator or a principal agent or a project manager. As they say in the classics, proof is in the pudding. We've asked 4 of our recent graduates to give their insights as to why they chose to study in our department.
Hi everyone, my name is ANITA FERGER and I've been asked to say a little something about my time here at UCT. And with that, I will start at the beginning. I actually started studying civil engineering straight out of high school and soon realized that was not something I wanted to do. Fast forward a few months later, I had come across quantity surveying, and after speaking with various professional industry leaders and friends of mine who had done the degree, I made the decision to change to construction studies with the intention of becoming a quantity surveyor. I think that studying construction studies also felt right for me in terms of my skill set. I found myself to be a very practical and highly organized person and someone who really likes a good challenge and to solve problems. I also believe the degree exposes you to various opportunities and many industries, and it is one that doesn't restrict you to one field, and that's something I greatly valued.
I'm here today to share my experiences as a graduate of our department. At first, the journey seemed long, but looking back on it now, I may wish that the journey was slightly longer, for it was very fruitful. About myself, I completed my undergraduate degree in construction studies in 2019 and did my honors in quantity surveying last year. This year, I came back to Mauritius and started working as a junior quantity surveyor for a firm called Okal Limited. So, why did I choose to be a quantity surveyor? Well, my dad was a quantity surveyor. Well, he is a quantity surveyor actually, and I grew up being fascinated by the built environment. So, I guess that adds up to why I chose this field.
Hi, my name is David Leach, and I finished my honours in construction management in 2020, and I'm currently working as a construction project manager. Being a very practical person growing up, I thought the best option for me when leaving school was to pursue civil engineering, which I actually did for 2 years. But I soon realized that the intense technicality and fairly singular focus gave me no enjoyment, and I couldn't actually envision myself being a civil engineer. After taking some time to reevaluate and working for a small construction contractor, I realized that I did enjoy being in the construction industry and the built environment, but just in a slightly different way. I realized I enjoyed having diverse knowledge about all the different aspects of the construction industry, and I enjoyed working closely with people from different professions, all working towards a common goal. This led me to pursue construction studies at UCT, which was a great fit, and the enjoyment I found in it allowed me to excel. I think one of the greatest strengths of all the degrees within the CEM department is the diverse array of subjects that they expose you to, which provide you with a great foundation with which to enter the industry. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the CEM department, and in my experience, it's a department that strives to look after each student, with lecturers who are approachable and push you to reach your full potential.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason Green, and I'm a recent graduate of the BSc Honours in Property Studies degree here at UCT. I've been asked to share a few words regarding my take on this field of study, the real estate sector, and what I've learned along the way. Firstly, a bit of context. I've spent my first year at university studying engineering because it seemed like the logical thing to do, but I quickly lost interest as I had no real understanding of what it was that I wanted out of my future career. From there, I wound up studying a BCom specializing in financial management, and this really piqued my interest in business, and it allowed me to gain clarity on what my strengths and interests were. From there, I decided to try to distinguish myself in the marketplace with the goal of specializing within a particular sector. So I enrolled in the BSc Property Studies degree and joined a private development company where I worked during the course of my studies. It was here that my bum fell in the butter, not in a financial sense, but rather in the sense that I had found myself in the process of growing and gradually specializing in a sector which really excited me. Real estate is such a broad sector, and there are so many pathways with which you can approach it, whether it's investments, developments, technology, surveying, legal, construction, you get the picture. There are heaps of avenues. Keep in mind that we are talking about the biggest asset class in the world here. And with real estate being an asset class, it means that no matter the angle with which you approach it, you will always be dealing with an underlying asset with intrinsic value fundamentally attached to it. What this means is that it is possible to leverage experience and knowledge gained between the various pathways I previously mentioned. This is something I find particularly appealing, as this can lead to unique insights, innovation, and opportunities as you connect the dots. For these reasons, I'm a strong advocate for the sector. After all, your career is going to be a major part of your life. Make sure you get involved in something exciting and filled with opportunity.
The University of Cape Town is a research-led university. Our department is actively collaborating in research associated with the Fourth Industrial Revolution, where we are looking at cutting-edge technology and thinking, such as the use of virtual reality and augmented reality, drones, 3D printing, blockchain, to name but a few in the built environment. Thank you for listening. We will now answer your questions. I can only see some questions in the chat that deal with NBTs that Celeste seems to be answering most efficiently. Manya, you're on mute. Oh dear. There's a question about if an international student has a diploma in civil engineering, what is the minimum requirement for admission? Celeste, I think you'd be best placed to answer that one.
Thank you. Yes, Karen, I'll answer. So our transferring students are assessed. You have to apply via the admissions portal, send in your application. We will look at your school leaving results as well as your diploma results. Your application will then be sent to the department where they will review it according to the transferring students criteria. So in the same way as a first-time entering student, your results will be assessed, and upon review, a decision will be made as to whether you would be accepted. Karen, perhaps you can talk to how many transferees you accept per year.
Yeah, thanks, Celeste. It varies, but we don't have a minimum, let's put it that way. If you meet our criteria and if you've got a very strong desire to study one of our degree programs, then we try and see what we can do. No, Manya's still muted. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Okay, so the question in the chat is about is it possible to apply with mathematical literacy marks? I'm afraid not. You need to have good math skills for the degree. It's heavily, the emphasis, there's a huge emphasis on financial maths. So you will need the full maths criteria from school level. One of the interesting things that I didn't put in our presentation is, but Manya alluded to it in his presentation, the fact that our students all are generally all gainfully employed before they even graduate. They start doing job interviews around about September of their final year of study. It is the salaries that they start earning, and because these are professional degrees and because property is so unique, our graduates start earning in the region of about 18 to 25,000 Rand a month. It obviously depends which sector you go into. So I know it's important in these uncertain times to consider a career option that is offers job security. And if you consider that the built environment is something that we use every single day and will continue using, it definitely is a very good idea to consider studying a degree in this direction. Yeah, Celeste has just answered about the last day of applications, the 31st of August. Please don't miss the date because we don't look at late applications. I'm not sure if there's any other questions that anyone's got to ask. Yes, the question Manya's just answered. Is there a high rate of students that complete the full degree? Yes. Most of our third-year students take up the honours, and quite a few of them return for masters at some point.
Karen, there's another question. How would you describe the workload of the course?
Good question. Very good question. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You know, if one has to compare oneself to engineers who have to do some serious calculations to keep bridges standing up and all of these very important things. Our professions aren't really about being clever, but it is about being able to multitask, think on your feet, problem solve, and communicate effectively. So our course load tends to be reflective of that. So it's not overloaded, but it's intensive and it's variety. So you would do economics and you would do maths and you would do accounting mixed in with construction technology, financial mathematics in the property field, urban economics. So one starts getting used to a variety of subject matters that you dip into, able to synthesize what is important. So none of us are allowed to overload first years, and it just becomes an issue of time management. Totally doable.
Karen, another one. How many students are accepted into the program?
So we have a target of 55, what we refer to as bums on seats. And we're only constrained by venue sizes really on the upper limit. But our ideal size of class is between 60 and 65. So that's the target we aim to meet. Right, well, I think our time is nearly up. So thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you soon.